back at it again, and we have something a little bit different today. Let's dive in.
Sporting events are always going to be a central part of the American experience. In the fall, Americans tune in to watch their favorite sports, be it the NFL, MLB, NHL, and even the NBA. Every 2 years, we come together as a nation to support Team USA in the Winter or Summer Olympics. We even sometimes come together to watch the United States compete in World Cup play. It's happened. From the yellow ribbon tied around the Superdome during Super Bowl 15 to remember hostages taken in Iran, to chants of USA, USA, when a crowd in Philadelphia learned about the death of Osama bin Laden. American sports fans and players wear their American
Man, I would love to get back to this.
hearts on their sleeves. So let's check out the top 10 most patriotic moments in sports history.
Let's go.
Number 10. Team USA carries the World Trade Center flag to the Olympics. Rarely does a flag presentation at the Olympic Games happen to a quiet crowd. But as 8 members of Team USA, flanked by members of the New York Police Department and New York Fire Department, marched the flag of the host country into the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City, you could hear a pin drop. The flag they carried was found in the rubble of Ground Zero. That flag was under the debris for 3 days before being found and given to the National Guard. It took some time to convince the International Olympic Committee, who is responsible for keeping politics out of the Games, to approve the display of the torn and tattered banner. But on opening night, the World Trade Center's old glory flew proudly once more. Number 9. Rulon Gardner defeats the undefeated. For a decade, Alexander Karelin was the world's dominant super heavyweight wrestler. By the time the 2000 Olympics rolled around, Karelin, aka the Russian Bear, aka Alexander the Great, hadn't been
The Russian Bear? That is quite the nickname.
defeated in a match since Russia was still called the Soviet Union. And even then, that was his only loss, until he faced off with a dairy farmer from Wyoming. In 6 years, Karelin hadn't even given up a single point to an opponent. His American opponent, Rulon Gardner, hadn't placed higher than 5th in the world up until this point, and even lost to Karelin 5-0 before. But
Sheesh.
Karelin lost his grip and a point to Gardner in the second period. Number 8. Mary Lou Retton wins a gymnastic first. A little girl from West Virginia dealt a stunning blow to the Eastern Bloc during the Cold War when Mary Lou Retton brought home Olympic gold in 1984. Before Retton, Team USA was never able to wrest Olympic gold from the Eastern Europe in the individual all-around gymnastics event. She came into the event trailing Romania's Ekaterina Szabo, and she even had undergone a knee operation just 5 weeks before competing. In Retton's own words, she believes her performance showed that American-born and trained athletes can do anything.
That hurts my knees just watching it. You know what I mean? That looks like that hurts. No
matter
thanks.
what the odds are. 1999 Women's World Cup Final. The 1999 Women's World Cup came down to a shootout tiebreaker against the Chinese. With the score tied 0-0 in extra time, the US team would end up winning based on penalties. It wasn't so much the gameplay that mattered, it was the draw, with 90,000 spectators.
Sheesh.
It wasn't so much the gameplay that mattered, it was the draw.
Look at that. An absolute sea of people. Talk about a packed stadium. My goodness.
90,000 spectators. It was the largest turnout for a women's sporting event ever.
Oh,
The
well, there you
lasting
go.
image of the US win would be Brandi Chastain's post-penalty kick celebration of the victory, where she fell to her knees and took off her jersey, revealing the sports bra seen round the world. That image became one of Sports Illustrated's most iconic covers ever. Number 6. Joe Louis knocks out a Nazi.
Joe Lou.
In 1938, Hitler was still touting the Germans as a master race, while German athletes competed the world over for top honors. On June 22nd, Max Schmeling met American champion, the Brown Bomber Joe Louis. The first time the two met in 1936, Schmeling took advantage of a moment when Louis dropped his left hand after a jab, allowing Schmeling to give Louis his first loss in the 12th round of that fight. That would not happen again. With the world listening via radio and more than 70,000 watching in Yankee Stadium, Louis unloaded on Schmeling, knocking him down 3 times in just 2 minutes. Schmeling was only able to throw 2 punches in the whole 1-round match. Number 5.
Bro, he 3-pieced him. Knocked him down 3 times in 2 minutes. By the way, if you ever want some good cardio, take up boxing. I'm telling you. You wouldn't think that throwing punches is exhausting, but it is. I'm telling you. I took boxing lessons, and I remember the first time that I got in there, I'm thinking everything is going to be all good. And my coach had me start throwing combos back to back. Man, I was just like, bruh, why is this so exhausting? I'm just standing here throwing punches. Like, what's going on? But no, it's exhausting, and it's also fun, So, plus you learn a skill in defending yourself. You learn how to actually throw a punch and using your hands.
The champ lights the Olympic torch. Lighting the Olympic flame at the end of the torch relay is an honor reserved for a legendary Olympic athlete from the host country. Does it get more legendary than the greatest Muhammad Ali?
Float like a
Except
butterfly,
in
sting like a bee.
1996, the identity of the one who would light the flame was a close-kept secret. Even swimmer Janet Evans, who was handing the torch off, didn't know to whom she was handing it. Ali was stricken with Parkinson's disease and had long since retired by this point. When Ali emerged to take the Olympic torch and light the flame, the sound in Atlanta was less a roar of applause and more of the collective gasp of elated surprise as the once great boxer, shaking, lit the torch.
Man, was that sad to watch, Ali go out the way that he went out. You know what I mean? Obviously I'm not old enough to have watched Ali, actually fight. So it was all, YouTube videos and highlights, but man, was that guy spectacular or what? But not only was he spectacular inside the ring, but outside the ring, some of the stuff he came up with, I know you got him. I know you got him picked. You know what I mean? Fast. I'm so fast. How'd that saying go? I turned off the light in my room and was in the bed before the room went dark. Rest in peace to the great Ali, man. Absolutely incredible. Like I said, it was just sad to watch, the last days and, the whole shaking, kind of stuff. Obviously, I know it happens, but, you just wish, it ended a different way. Me personally, at least. But anyway.
Number 4. Rick Monday saves the flag. Remember
What?
the MLB outfielder Rick Monday?
No.
He might be before most of our audience's time, but Monday was with
Yeah.
the Los Angeles Dodgers' 1981 World Series winning team.
Oh, yeah. Definitely before my time.
Before that, he was the top prospect in the 1965 Major League Baseball draft. Somewhere in between, he saved Old Glory from public degradation. In 1976, Monday was with the Chicago Cubs, visiting the Dodgers. With Monday in center field during the 4th inning, 2 protesters jumped the outfield fence and tried to burn a flag on live television. Monday, seeing what was about to transpire, ran over and snatched the lighter fluid-soaked flag. The protesters were arrested, and Monday was able to keep the flag. Ever since that day, Monday used the actual flag to raise money for military families.
It's a good patriot right there. That's a good patriot. We need to get back to that kind of pride. We definitely need to get back to that kind of pride. You're not about to sit in front of me and burn a flag without me doing something about it. Stop it with the nonsense. If you hate this country so much, then leave. You are free to go. The door is wide open. Literally wide open. You know what I mean? Even for people to come in, it's wide open. So go. Don't let it hit you on the way out.
Number 3, the president's post 9/11 opening pitch. Being psyched out by throwing the first pitch in Yankee Stadium. But in his own words, he absolutely was. Thousands of New Yorkers came to the stadium to watch President George W. Bush throw the pitch to open Game 3 of the 2001 World Series. It was also just weeks after 9/11. He didn't want Americans to think the president was incapable of finding the plate. But as he practiced, Yankee Derek Jeter told him that he needed to both throw from the mound and not in front as originally planned, and not bounce it. They'll boo you, he told the president. Bush, shaken but loose, walked onto the field and threw a strike to an eruption of applause.
Look at him.
Number 2, the Buckeye bullet burns Hitler. Before he ever arrived in Berlin for the 1936 Olympic Games, Jesse Owens had already set
Hey, Buckeye Nation, baby. I was like, hold on, the Buckeye bullet. What? Huh? What's going on? Hey, you see it. You know, no disrespect to anybody else, but you know, I gotta represent. It's Buckeye Nation, baby. It's Buckeye Nation, you know? OH. If you know, you know. If you know how to finish that, you know what I mean? Let me hear you in the comment section. OH, baby.
3 world records and tied another. At Ohio State,
Hold on, run that back.
Hitler. Before he ever arrived in Berlin for the 1936 Olympic Games, Jesse Owens had already set 3 world records and tied another. At Ohio State, he won 8 individual NCAA championships, which was a record in its own right.
Sheesh.
When he arrived in Berlin, he knew Nazi Germany was using the games as a showcase for its racial policies, but he was determined to compete anyway. Owens went on to win 4 gold medals in 1936, an unrivaled achievement until some 50 years later when Carl Lewis did the same in 1984. When Owens won gold in the long jump, the Olympic Committee told Hitler he had to greet all the winners or none at all. Hitler opted for none. As Owens won other events, Hitler would leave early. Nazi minister
Stick it to you.
Albert Speer would later write that Hitler was, quote, highly annoyed by the series of triumphs by the marvelous colored American runner, Jesse Owens, end quote. Number 1, the miracle on ice. Would you bet money on a bunch of college amateurs taking on the world's greatest hockey team in a competition for Olympic gold?
Not at all.
Not many would, and not many did, as it turns out. That was the situation Team USA faced in the 1980 Winter Olympics. It was a tough time for the United States. With hostages in Iran, an energy crisis, and runaway inflation, it looked like the American dream was coming.
Energy crisis, situations going overseas, inflation. Sound familiar? Anybody who lived through that time, let me know in the comment section. Was it similar to today? Because if it was, that gives me a lot of hope. Was that time that was just mentioned similar to the times today? Obviously, you know, the prices would be different than today, even with inflation. You know what I mean? I get that. But let me know in the comment section, please. I'm really, really interested to hear your answers, because that would really give me a whole lot of hope. Like, if knowing that, hey, we've been through this before, that would be, amazing to hear. I mean, it sucks to hear, but it also, gives a breath of fresh air, knowing, hey, we've made it through this before, so we can do it again.
To an end. But no words echoed through the ages like Al Michaels' "Do you believe in miracles?" as Team USA topped the Soviet Union 4-3 in one of the biggest upsets in sports history.
So there you have it, a video from We Are the Mighty. I'll leave the original link in the description box below, so you guys can go check it out for yourself and show them some love. But patriotic moments in sports. Let me know if there are some other moments that were left off of this list. It was really, really cool to see, the saving of the American flag. If only we could get back to that kind of pride. I don't know what we would need to do in order to do that, because obviously some people see the American flag as like this horrible, terrible, no good, very bad thing, which is just weird, and they all need to leave. I just wish we could all, at least come to terms on that. Every house in America should be flying the American flag somewhere, on the premises. I think. National pride, baby. What's wrong with that? Obviously, some people in the government would like us to believe that you shouldn't have pride in, such a terrible nation. Which is just weird. Because they still live here, but, I digress. Anyway, y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. And let me know, what was that 80s situation like? Was it like today? Talk to me in the comment section. Peace and love. I'm out.